16. I'm your TV terminating, comic book collecting, movie messiah, video game god. Or you can call me Corey.
What's up? It's Just Jess.
Corey and Just Jess, thank you for joining us on the 16th episode of the Geek'd Up podcast. This week, we didn't have a lot going on. We played Game of Thrones, episode 5.
We did.
Finally. Took us forever to get to that. Not really going to review it or anything. Just wanted to say that the story, in my opinion, I really like the story. Mm-hmm. However, I am a little tired of how shitty these games are.
I know.
Like the bugs and how they look, and it's just not a good game. It's a good story that you choose, but it is ugly. It is.
I know. It's one of the only video games I can play.
Yeah, but if they would just take some time, make them look a little better, and, you know, I think it'd just be so much better. So much more, what am I trying to say, like, you know, immersed in it.
Right.
And looking at these clay figures, like, talk to each other. But it was good. Overall, I mean, I still give this a really good score. I mean, the story had a lot of twists and turns, some suspense, some, you know, anyway. But that's about all we did this week, other than read comics and watch some TV shows. Nothing we want to review there either. But because there's not much like usual, let's just get into Geek'd This Week. Welcome to Geek This Week. This is our news segment where we go over a lot of the news we saw this week, what we thought was great, what we thought might have been stupid, and we bring it right to you in very little time, under 5 minutes most of the time. So, let's get into what we saw this week in the Geek This Week segment.
All right.
There were some new photos released of AMC's upcoming show Preacher, where we get to see a couple of the cast, including Cassidy and Arseface. If I wanted to see an Arseface, I would have watched the GOP debates. You're fired.
Funcom has announced The Park, an experimental horror game that takes place in an amusement park. It will release on PC in October, the same time I will be releasing In My Pants. Not yet.
It was rumored that George Miller may be directing Man of Steel 2. Then it was rumored that George Miller will not be directing Man of Steel 2. But then it was rumored that George Miller may be directing another DC movie. Then it was rumored that I don't give a fuck as long as he finally does Mad Max Fury Road follow-up.
The pilot of Fear the Walking Dead had a record-breaking 10.1 million viewers. That's 10.1 million people that fear this show will remain on the air.
Really? AMC, step your fucking game up. Ugh. Lea Seydoux of James Bond film Spectre is rumored to play Belladonna opposite Channing Tatum in the upcoming Gambit film. I bet nerds worldwide are going to have something upcoming when that was announced.
Violette Bean has been cast in Season 2 of The Flash as Jessie Quick. She becomes a speedster after receiving a formula from her father. The only thing my father ever gave me was a Pabst Blue Ribbon and a shot of whiskey. I was 8.
It'll be okay. The Suicide Squad is wrapped, but Margot Robbie and Jai Courtney were seen at a local girl's lemonade stand who was trying to help her brother find the cure for Angelman syndrome. Seems like the perfect place to spot an angel, man.
Metal Gear Solid 5 was released this week with rave reviews, 10 out of 10 from IGN and a 5 out of 5 from Metacritic, further proving my claim that gamers hate animals.
Xbox's Games with Gold for September have been announced. On the Xbox 360, you can pick up Battle Stations Pacific and Crysis 3. On the Xbox One, you'll be able to pick up Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition, and the Dear God. As in, dear God, give us some fucking good games already, Games with Gold!
The new Cliffy B game now has details. It's a free-to-play arena shooter called Lawbreakers, where it's the law versus the breakers. Gravity will play an important role. At least Cliffy B is stepping out of his comfort zone.
The Rise of the Tomb Raider Collector's Edition was announced, and $150 will get you some of this. The game, a collectible steel case, a 12-inch statue replication of Laura herself, and Laura's in-game journal. This will be the closest anyone who buys this gets to a girl's intimate thoughts.
If you're not part of the Xbox preview program, you may want to jump on board. The company stated that only a limited amount of people will be allowed to join. Also limited on the Xbox One, the amount of people who own an Xbox One.
Amy Schumer and Jennifer Lawrence announced that they're writing a script in which they'll play sisters. 100 pages have now been completed. Since the announcement, 1,000 times that page count of Schumer-Lawrence fanfic has been completed.
IMAX has booked 4 weeks in which Star Wars The Force Awakens will be the only movie on the giant screens. Let's be honest. Is there any other movie you're going to see in that time frame? Okay, maybe one.
Gotta see that one. And that is it for Geek this week. Let us know what you thought of these news pieces. Is there anything we missed? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll get back to each and every one of you. That leads us into our weekly review on Top of the Stack, where this week it is image, and more image on Top of the Stack. This is Top of the Stack. Welcome back. This is our weekly comic review where we go over our favorite comics this week, and we let you know what you should get and maybe what you shouldn't. Sometimes we have some honorable mentions, which we do this week. So let's get on and see what we had to say about the ones we read this week. First off, what did you read?
I read Descender number 6 by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nijwin. Win?
Yeah.
Why do they have to spell it like that?
I learned that at a very young age because I grew up in California and I had a friend who was Asian, and I said the same thing. I said, well, your last name Nagayan? And she's like, it's Win. I go, no, it's not. But she told me, so I mean, that's what it is. Anyway,
well, okay.
Her name was Quinn Win, so it was really easy to remember. Yeah, that's weird. It's like Quinn is not Asian.
Quinn.
But anyway.
Okay. Anyway, so we basically kind of start off where we left off from the last one.
Doesn't it start off in a flashback?
It does, but
it's mostly flashbacks, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also kind of where we left off at the same time too. Flashback, we get this whole big spiel about why Dr. Kwan is who he is and why he doesn't know anything about robots.
Because he's a fraud.
He is a fraud.
Well, he's a thief.
Yeah, he's a thief. He's not really a fraud. He's smart, but he's also a bad person. Anyway, so 15 years ago, he was with his mentor. His name was Dr. Solomon. They were called to this planet called Ostrakhan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyway, they're called there because a very weird thing was uncovered. They go down deep underground, and there was a robot. And guys, this dates back like millions of years.
Oh, yeah.
So they're wondering...
And we're not giving spoilers on these. We're going to keep the endings of these intact.
Yeah.
So you can listen, and we're not going to ruin how this thing ends.
So, now I lost my train of thought.
The robot that dates way back.
Yeah. The robot dates way back, millions of years. And Dr. Solomon is like, how the hell is this possible? This isn't possible. This robot is so much more advanced than any of what I've created. So they take this robot for testing, and it comes alive and it says some pretty weird things that you'll have to read to find out what it says. Anyway, so they end up shutting the robot down, and Dr. Kwan doesn't want to shut the robot down. He wants to know what it was talking about, what it meant, wants to know more. Curiosity killed the cat.
Scientist would want to do, though. I would think.
Yeah, but it's out of their
jurisdiction. Yeah, but,
I know. Same thing. So anyway, Dr. Kwan ends up stealing all this data, all the information that they have collected from the short time period, and guess what he does with it?
Steals it. No, what?
He studies it, and he makes robots. The most advanced robots known to...
Was Tim 21 perhaps one of them?
I think you're right.
I'm right, that is. Tim
you
21,
are.
Our favorite little protagonist.
So, that's kind of Dr. Kwan's backstory. Basically, the whole comic was flashbacks explaining Dr. Kwan. It fast forwards to present day. We see Dr. Kwan still laying on the table with his arm cut off, and I'm going to leave it there. The ending is so good, you cannot miss it. Read it. Do not miss it. I'm serious. It's going to leave you wanting more. So, I give this one a Christian Bale. 9 out of 10. It was damn near perfect.
9 out of 10? We don't have a 9 out of 10. That's a 5 out of 6. That's our scale. I don't know. But anyway,
I don't know what's happening.
But anyway, I like this one as well. You finally get to know something about this doctor. Because they keep telling him it's his fault. And I didn't believe it for a while.
I know, I didn't either.
So, I like that we get to see this other side of this guy. I think when he finally comes to and everything, we will learn that maybe he isn't exactly how that story goes, Maybe he's had more good
motive.
Yeah, more good motive than bad. I'm going to give it a Christian Bale as well. Art is kind of strange to me. I really liked it at first, but now it's kind of bright and just I don't know. But
really? Is it like hard for you to focus?
No, I mean it's kind of scratchy. I don't know.
It is a little scratchy. That's a good word for it.
Yeah,
but
it's a little scratchy.
The story is so good. Kind of like Game of Thrones.
I think maybe if there's more color to it instead of all that white, it would be a little better looking.
Yeah.
But I mean, the art is one thing. I mean, I can make everything out. It's okay. It's good, but...
Not as bad as Intersect.
But I give it a Christian Bale as well. So, Descender number... What was that? 6? Descender number 6 is getting a Christian Bale from Geek'd Up. Now, I read Savior number 5 by Todd McFarlane, Brian Hogwin, and Clayton Crane. This one starts off somewhere secret that we've never seen. It's like this secret agency or something. It's kind of like the Men in Black, I thought. Like they were saying, yeah, they're like these all guys all dressed in black with a white t-shirt and a black tie, and they're all dressed the same. They're looking at this ancient what am I trying to say? I was going to say syllable. It's a symbol.
Symbol, yeah.
Ancient symbol called what is it? Titivulus.
What?
Titivulus. It's Titivulus, I'm pretty sure. Titivulus.
You just want it to be Titivulus. This just got weird.
Anyway, they consider it the printer's devil, and it is about anytime the monks had an issue with their writing, because back then they didn't have printers, they had to handwrite everything. If they messed up, the blame went to Titivulus, the printer god.
Yep.
So you kind of see them talking about this and how they got to nip this story in the bud about this plane that crashed and all the media going crazy. That's kind of why they introduced that, but we also know that they have ties to ancient things now.
And they want to discover why the plane crashed.
Yeah, and they also show that they have a little headway on a mysterious guy who is the John Doe, the savior we know about. And they also talk about the airwaves happen to go dead for 6 seconds in a 30-mile radius that most people like us who have cell phones, maybe it's in our pocket, we wouldn't have never noticed it.
Right.
So it's not a big deal, but that plays a big part in whatever that did that. It has a big part in what happened. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason I like this issue is because we finally get to know who this John Doe kind of is.
I know.
It shows us the preacher girl. I think her name's Cassie. You know, the one with the weird religious group that wants to pick at everything. She's like writing this stuff and she's not even writing it. She's seeing a vision and writing it. And we get to go back in time and see him as like a wanderer in a town. And he has to leave that town. He goes to another town and he kind of likes this girl and sees her one night with this man who's kind of abusing her. And he walks up and he just says, "Hey, stop it." And just by touching him, he flies back and he dies of they say a heart attack. And he's like, "I didn't do it." But because he did it, he's forced to leave again.
Yeah.
And he meets this old man who wants to take him in. And that's kind of where it's left with his story. I'm kind of wondering, like, where that's going to go. Mm-hmm. But we do see that that's where his story ends. And then we pick up also where the sheriff's son, who's on house arrest, Malcolm, gets picked up by her. And he's having this little quirky conversation with a really arrogant kid she's talking about, you need to quit hanging out with them. And he's like, "Oh, she just has a cute ass. That's the only reason." But we get to see, he's saying, "I have nothing to do with them. I just like talking to them." We find out that's not true. He's actually helping them in a major way, which I'm not going to give away what he does. All I'm going to say is somebody sees him do this who you would not want to have see you do this. And it kind of, maybe next issue we're going to see him have a change of heart on which side he's going. But overall, starting with the story, really liked the story. Mm-hmm. I thought it was the best one so far. I mean, obviously the first issue really kicked it off, but this one, like, set the tone. We got a little more information that I really wanted, so I love that part of it. The art, as always, is one of the reasons you pick up this book, because it's just really well done. So overall, I really liked it. I'm giving Savior number 5 a Christian Bale.
And I as well. It was good. The usual story was good. I liked learning about that guy. Savior, John Doe.
Oh, that's something I was going to say about this issue is his name is Mark. We learned that finally. We know his name, but that's about all we get out of this guy from the point he meets that old man. So I did like that. So you're giving it a Christian Bale?
Yes.
Savior number 5 by Todd McFarlane, Brian Hogwin, and Clayton Crane is getting a Christian Bale from Geek'd Up. And last on our list, this is a joint effort here. We read Beauty number 1, a number 1 from Image Comic, written by Jeremy Hahn and Jason Hurley, art also by Jeremy Hahn, and colors by John Roush. If you read the solicits for this, it's about a STD that people want because it makes you beautiful. It makes you lose your fat and fixes your jawline and your bone structure to be more appeasing and appealing to other people. So it's actually an STD a lot of people want. They go out of their way to get it. Yep. A lot of people don't because it is a disease, but that's the basis, the premise of this comic. And starting out, what do we got going on here?
So basically, we start out 2 years ago. The STD came up. Nobody knows why or how. We see a girl on a subway. She obviously has the disease. This is so weird to say out loud. She was on the subway and she internally combusted.
Yeah. Fire or something beam out of her mouth and she's just like, well, that's what she was doing, right?
I don't know that it went on that long.
She died, so anyway.
That got weird. Anyway, so then we see Foster. He is a cop
God, I couldn't remember his name. That is his name,
yeah.
Foster. Okay.
And he gets called to the scene.
Along with his partners.
Uh-huh.
And they are like, what the fuck is this? This has to be, they are on the beauty task force. Mm-hmm. They're special agents specifically for this disease. First time we find out this is the first time they've ever seen it.
Yep.
One of the guys there, I don't know his name, he says that it looks as though, or she died 3 hours ago, but her skin is so brittle and just dry that it looks as though she's died a long time ago.
Like porcelain. Yeah,
like porcelain. Which we find out, we see it happen, but they find out later it's because it's like something inside of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're ready to go to work on this case, and the CDC comes and says, nope, you're off the case, we're on the case. And they're like, well, we're the beauty task force. And they're like, I don't care. We're the CDC. So now they're bummed about that. But in the meantime, we get to see Foster and
his partner.
What's her name?
Kara.
They're having a conversation about this STD, and now they're finally realizing it can kill you. She takes off. You don't know why, crying in the bathroom, and she says that she's not an asshole who got this on purpose. So we know she has it.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, not everybody wants it. It just happens. I'm curious if they're going to do flashbacks of like her before. I would like to see what they look like before.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But what's next?
So then they go out on a call to a known anti-beauty terrorist home. So he's like totally against all the beauties.
Well, isn't it actually... They're going to his house. They're going to find him, but it's actually a beauty sex club.
Yeah, but they said maybe he's hiding in plain sight or something.
But so they have to go to this sex club, kind of like Eyes Wide Shut-ish place.
Yeah. And
not so far as Preacher Sex Club. It's a little less than that. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. They had sheep fucking in that. It was pretty insane. It wasn't that bad, but go ahead. So they go there.
And, of course, they knock on the door. Nobody answers. They kick the door down. They walk into his apartment. Pictures, articles all over the walls about beauties, about good, bad, the ugly, all the information you can think of about the beauties. The man ends up running out, and...
They give chase.
Yes. They chase him. And do you want me to go into everything, or should we stop there?
Yeah, they chase him. They do catch him, and we'll stop there because something in that interaction is really good, really cool. And then after that is the punch to the gut that we wanted in something like this.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do you feel about it, knowing the story? Do you like the story?
Yeah.
Is it something you could read, like you feel like, oh, this is really going to go somewhere?
I mean, I just feel like she was a beaut.
A beaut? Who?
The story.
A beaut. I do too. It was.
She was a beaut.
Geek'd Up gives us a beaut. But no, really. I like the art. I thought it was really spot on for what this is about.
It was very clean.
Yeah.
Very clean
kind of actually reminds me of the Fade Out, if you've read the Fade Out. It's super clean, and that's why I really like that one too. So me, I really like the story. Really interested, especially after the last couple pages on where this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you give this? As a first issue, image first, beauty number 1. What do you give it?
I'm gonna give it Ben Affleck.
Really?
Yeah. I was gonna say Christian Bale, but everything about it just was interesting to me, so I'm going to give it a Ben Affleck. Old Benny Ben.
Well, I'm going to have to give it a Christian Ben Affleck. Also, beauty number 1. Really good. It's a number 1. Pick it up. You'll like it. Hope you'll like it. If you didn't like it, let us know. But
you're stupid if you don't.
I didn't say it, but I think it too. So that is a Christian Bale. It's a Ben Affleck from Geek'd Up for beauty number 1. That's it for the main reviews, but there are a couple honorable mentions I want to give just to let you know that there is more than what we really like that's not on the list. First of all, Constantine number 3. Constantine the Hellblazer number 3. I really liked it. It was also a flashback issue, kind of like Savior and Descender. It's like a flashback issue theme this week. So check that out by Ming Doyle and Tinian the Fourth. And then Fade Out, as I also spoke about the art. Fade Out number 8 by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips was really good this week. That's it for Top of the Stack this week. Let us know what you thought about these issues. What did you get out of this? What did you rate them? And what should we have read? And now it's time for the weekly pull for September 2nd, 2015. This is the list of the items we will be getting this week in our comics pull. First up is Batman Arkham Knight number 8. Just as Gotham Reborn starts to take hold, enter the Suicide Squad. Who's their target? None other than Gotham's Bruce Wayne.
And in The Dying and the Dead number 3, the history of the sacred object everybody is racing to recover is revealed. And you won't believe where it leads our heroes next.
As the arc comes to a close, Lila and Tenor meet the architect of their world. But in order to save the Empty, they may have to kill their creator in the Empty number 6.
And in Jupiter number 6, a love triangle disrupts the team.
In Poison Part 3, one bullet makes all the difference. In Lazarus number 19.
And in Material number 4, the new Black Panther party.
And in Mad Max The Fury Road trade paperback, for the first time we collect the prelude to the movie as we see our main characters, Morton Joe Nux, Mad Max and Furiosa, take their journey to the beginning of the film.
And in Plutona number 1, 5 suburban kids make a shocking discovery as they walk through the woods and discover the world's greatest superhero's body, Plutona.
Have you ever wondered what the future of torture may look like? We find out, and we stand on guard number 3. And that's it for the weekly pull this week. What on that list are you getting? And what is it we should be reading? Let us know in the comments below. Also, make sure you let us know what you'd like to hear from that list on Top of the Stack next week. It's time for the Geek'd Up Dramatic Readings.
And now, a Geek'd Up Dramatic Reading.
This is the Geek'd Up Dramatic Reading where we read you the comic while you look at the pretty pictures. And this week, we're doing part of Fade Out number 8 by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. So let's get it going. Action.
I'm not here for the party. I need help.
What's wrong?
Can you just not ask questions, Charlie? Just come with me.
She's taking a big risk here, Maya thinks. Needing people is always a risk. Needing their help is even worse. Because then they get close to you. Close enough to guess who you really might be behind that platinum smile.
It's the one on the corner.
Looks abandoned.
It is. There's nothing but dope fiends and rats in there now.
Maya, what are we doing?
Looking for my ex-husband. I promised his mother I'd bring him home to her. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just stay close to me in here. Charlie has seen shooting galleries before. Back in Kansas City, the mob ran smack in the back rooms all over the garment district. His father had spent most of the Depression slowly killing himself in one of them, so he knew exactly what to expect.
Wait.
His surprise was that Maya did too.
Here. Shit. Wake up, Mondo. Come on.
Well, his first surprise. Hey, que caro.
Let's get him up.
I've got it. Come on, use your legs, buddy. Chupa mi verga.
Just shut up and walk, Mondo. Go ahead, Charlie. Speak.
No, it's just... he's Mexican. I wasn't expecting that.
Why would you be?
This is the guy you said plays with Desi Arnaz?
He used to. When I met him, he was in my father's band. One of the best trumpeters you've ever heard. And now his mouth is so broken he couldn't even whistle.
What happened to him?
Studio security. That man, Brodsky. Mando just couldn't quit coming around. He was going to ruin everything.
Maya drops Charlie off a few blocks from his apartment, and his mind spins as he walks home in the night air. Brodsky wrecked that poor bastard's whole life. And for what? The standard jealous ex routine? He hates himself for it, but his mind goes back to Earl. If somehow Earl was Val's killer. Shit. He was Victory Street's biggest star, and Thursby made even more renting him out to other studios. What would they do to protect that? And that is it for the Geek'd Up dramatic reading of Fade Out number 8 by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips from Image Comics. Let us know when you like, comment, and subscribe what you thought about that issue, what you thought about us. Did you like us? Did you hate us? Just let us know. And make sure you let us know what you'd like us to read next week in the comments as well. It is now time for the Battle of the Century in Versus with Geek versus Girlfriend.
Round one. Fight.
This is Geek versus Girlfriend, where we pit me, the geek, against her, the girlfriend, in a battle of wits and guessing to see who wins, who loses, who's right, and who's dead wrong. So, first up, last week I had you read a comic by the name of They Are Not Like Us, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
This was by Eric Stevenson and Simon Gain. And you said it was about a girl who's going to commit suicide because she's not like everybody.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then she meets people who have similar issues as her. Were you right? Or were you dead wrong?
I was right.
She was right.
I was right for once. Oh my god.
I was pretty blown away last week as you were saying what you were saying. I was like, no fucking way. Is this really happening?
It really happened,
Off
guys.
of that cover. That cover that's on you saw on the screen, she guessed that off of that. The title and 2 shoes looking out down a building. Crazy. Anyway, so you were right. That is what it is about.
Mm-hmm.
But just slightly more in depth, what is this about?
Okay, so we meet the main girl named Sid. She obviously is about to jump off a building. Before she's about to jump, we see a man. We later find out that his name is The Voice. And the voice tells her, do not do this. You're stupid. Don't do this. Well, she ends up jumping anyway. And wake up. She's in the hospital. And the voice is there actually trying to break her out. So she ends up getting broken out. She leaves with the voice. She's like, who are you? I don't know who you are. Why are you doing this kind of stuff? And they get home.
To a mansion.
To a mansion, yes. And there she learns a little bit about herself. Why she's... Basically, she was killing herself because she hears voices all the time. And every time she heard things, her parents would put her in the hospital or, put her on a bunch of meds and all that bad stuff. So, turns out she's not crazy. She is telepathic. And the house she goes to is full of people who are different, who have powers or whatever you want to call them. And
abilities, special abilities.
Abilities, that's a good word.
They're X-Men.
X-Men, yes.
They're mutants.
And everything they have in that house, we learned, they took. And the reason they took it is because they can. Literally, their reason. They all have to assume new identities. So Sid is her new identity. But in order to never be found again, you have to kill your family. And that's where this issue ends.
Does she do it? Does she not? Stay tuned as you yourself read number 2. So what did you think about it?
I think she does it. Does she do it?
I can't tell you. You'd have to read it. But don't read it because I quit reading it. But well, I mean, I'm telling her not to. I mean, I only have the first one arc. There's just so much more out there. I liked it. I want to know where it goes. I might pick up the trades later. There was so much other stuff that I quit getting it on a monthly basis. But what did you think about it?
I thought it was good, interesting. I want to see where it goes. But you're right, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good concept, good story. I like the characters in it. Like, we get introduced to a lot of people with special abilities, and I'm kind of intrigued to know more of their backstory. Or
you never learn it.
You don't?
Not yet. That's why I was like, you're not really getting anything. You're not learning much more.
Okay.
So.
Well, it was okay.
What did you give it?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I give the first issue of Michael Keaton as well. So They're Not Like Us is getting a Michael Keaton from Geek'd Up, and Just Jess was just right tonight. So this week we're gonna see if you know what the next comic is, and this one goes by the name of Bodies #1 by Cy Spencer and Megan Hetrick. So take a look at that cover right there. Let us know what you think this Vertigo #1 is all about. I will give you a little hint, which is on the bottom there. It's a mini-series, 1 of 8.
Okay. Well, the first thing I think of is bodies. Oh, baby, making bodies we just use for fun. Bodies. Okay, that's enough.
Oh.
I'm not good at singing. Okay. So I'm going to say this is about a suburban family, maybe even just housewife, set back in 1950s, 60s era. And they're one of those weird families that like to kill people.
Murderers?
Yes. But I mean a family who...
Like a sick family?
Yeah. But they seem normal.
Yeah, like the Stepford Wives.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And I'm going to say it's based in England.
Okay.
Can I look at the
back? It's an ad.
Oh, okay.
So your final answer is it's about a murdering psychopathic family who seems normal, but they're not, set in the 50s and they live in England. Correct?
Yes.
Locking that in. Come back next week, see if she is right or if she is dead wrong on Geek versus Girlfriend. But now, it's time for round 2 in Girlfriend versus Geek.
Round two, fight.
All right, so last week on Girlfriend versus Geek, I asked you, what was this dying lady's wish to the world in her obituary? And I said it had something to do with the presidential candidates. And you said...
Fuck Hillary Clinton, bitch.
No, that's not what you said.
I know. I said Hillary Clinton 2016. Was I wrong? I was wrong.
You were wrong. He knows he was wrong. Yes, basically the lady said, do not vote for Hillary Clinton. Please, do not vote for Hillary.
Did she give a reason why?
She didn't.
Does she hate blowjobs did her husband get a blowjob from his secretary?
I'll call and ask.
With the Ouija board? We're going to do a seance tonight. We're going to ask this lady if her husband get a blowjob from the secretary. But other than that, she didn't give a reason?
She didn't give a reason. None that said in the article I read.
So in her obituary, it just said, oh, hey, by the way, do not vote for Hillary. Did she say who to vote for? Donald Trump?
No.
Good.
No. All in all, yeah. She doesn't care for Hillary. I kind of get that vibe from her, you know? So this week, were you just reading my phone?
No, I was thinking about Hillary Clinton in 2016 and what is going to happen. But...
Okay, so...
I was dead wrong.
Yeah, he was dead wrong. Come on, guys.
So what do we got going this week?
This week, We got a little Chris Brown news.
Uh-oh.
So, in an article, Chris Brown revealed, 16 things you may not know about him. And one of these things he revealed, he owns 14 of these. What is it?
Wow, that could be anything. 14 of them.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a car.
Is it a house?
No.
Huh.
Not a car or a house.
I'm going to say Chris Brown revealed he has 16 things. 14 things.
14, yeah.
And in one of those things, he has 16 of them. And
no.
What?
Chris Brown.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Owns 14.
Yeah, that's what I said. He has... Oh, so it's a list of 16 things, and in one of those things, he owns 14 of these.
He's right.
And that thing is... hairless cats. Chris Brown owns 14 hairless cats. My final answer...
Locking it in. Chris Brown owns 14 hairless cats.
You heard it here first. Breaking news. So, that's it for the verses with Geek versus Girlfriend. Come back next week so you can find out if we are right, if we are dead wrong. If you think you know the answers, let us know in the comments below. And just show me how stupid I am. And I'll comment back more. I'll come back and be like, yeah, I am stupid, but you're probably stupid as well. But that's it for the Geek'd Up podcast. Until then, make sure you find us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekeduptv or on Twitter at twitter.com/geekeduptweets. Like, comment, subscribe so we can get with each and every one of you to get your thoughts and secrets on the world. And we will talk to each and every one of you. But until next time, stay geeked up and always hug a xenomorph.
Always.